Hello and welcome back to another episode of Whiskerwood Refuge for episode 4. Today we're going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to be showing what I want to create and where I want to create it in a different type of medium to help better visualize what I am trying to convey. I would also like to point out that our lovely server owner, CrystalLeMouse, has figured out the cause of the lines. It was a mod that was not being updated by our server host that we use, so she went in manually to fix it, and now the water looks pretty again. Alright, so how do we start, right? Obviously, we have this whole area. I claimed it. I was like, this is my area. No touchy. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to take a picture of it this way, and then we can see a top-down view of it. Then I'm also going to take a picture of it this way, because we have a isotropic view of it. Basically what that means is the perspective is different in this view than it is in this view. This view makes it look much flatter, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, that is a good thing. And then this one is it has a lot of depth to it due to the perspective. We're not going to actually sketch it out here in Hytale. We're going to go to a different program and sketch it out to show you what I am planning on doing. And just like that, with movie magic, we now have both viewpoints. But before we get to that, I also would like to take some measurements of this. All right, so I kind of want to start with the path. Could either come out of this line right here. The storage is right here, right? And it goes up into a square over here. Now, do I want the path coming down here? I believe that's why it was created. Or I could have it more centralized. I'll just square it off right now. Well, if I could draw properly, you know. I feel like this could be like a sandy beach area going around with steps leading up to this house, one big circle like this, and then it could probably have a path into the conservatory like that. There'll probably be a path like this somehow, and a path like this. And then of course you're gonna have like your generalized path right there. I could do this. I could also do this. That one might be fine. Then, I'm going back and forth on this one though. So originally when I was mapping this out, I was thinking about having the apple tree over here with little apples. And then I didn't even have an idea for a barn. But this could be the like animal barn. That's supposed to be a bird. Tweet, tweet. Alright, so now we're on the orchard. Here's my idea for the orchard. I kind of want to have a fence around it, but have it be open. So I was thinking about having a fence. I'm going to start here and just have it go across like so. All right, so that's the fence I was thinking, and the path can go through here. This is how far the trees need to be from each other. And so now we have our whole grid. I'm going to keep it there for right now because it's in a line with these squares. If this is indeed 5 blocks in between each of them, I was thinking about having the path come in and then over like so, and then between each tree row. And then each one of these would be a tree. So you guys hopefully can kind of still see the parameter. I just lowered the opacity a little bit. It's probably a little bit harder to see. I did that just so we could visualize the actual concept of it. Now, I don't know if I want there to be cross paths like so. There needs to be more space up there, but we can figure that stuff out later. This is just a sketch to get an idea. I was thinking about having some berry bushes all around the tree. Because not only then do we have an apple farm, we also have a berry farm. And having 8 berries per tree yields us so many berries. As many of you can probably see at this point, if I do have 2 spaces, then the berry bushes would be something around this size. And then I would have all this empty space and then the path. So I was playing with the idea of having berry bushes actually the fence parameter. This is my starting idea. We can see where it goes from there. All right, back on the server. I have gotten rid of the structure that was right here just so we can start with a blank slate. I need to move this stuff next, probably behind what will become the house over that way. Ooh, this is going to be a lot of stuff to move. So let me do that real quick and I'll be back. Alright, let me get this out so that way I can start getting rid of chests that don't have things in it. Okay. We've already figured out that we need about 5 spaces in between, because if I want the berry bushes around the tree, then it needs to go out at least 1, like it is right now. So then we'd have an extra space right here. But if we had them 4 across, then we wouldn't have enough room to get right here to get the apples. So that's why I was thinking 5 across. So we could have 1 for the tree, 2 for the berry bush, 3 for space, 4 for path on this side. So from the tree, berry bush, empty space, pathway. That's what I was thinking for that. Because then on the other hand, we could have empty space, berry bush, tree. And if that's the case, this is the tree, and that's the tree, and then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between. That makes sense? We probably want a pathway behind the garden just so we can look at this. We want it probably like 3 out right here, and then we want a berry bush and a fence, right? So if that's the fence right here, then I probably would want 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the fence, because then we'd have a berry bush, empty space, and pathway on the fence. Would that be good? It'd be tree, berry bush, empty space, pathway, fence, berry bush. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 6. Right? Honestly, that would be a decent amount of space, more than what we sketched out, because that would be 6 rows instead of 4. So the question is, do I want more empty space? More negative space sometimes is a good thing. Or do I want more production? I could take out a row and then see where that lands us. So that's maximum. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Right here would be where it would typically be, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay. So that's how much space it would typically be if I were doing that. All right. Then if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also, I didn't take account into how far that would be. So we would have basically 3 spaces before 1, 2, 3, and then fence and berry bush. I'll be right back. I'll get different building blocks. Alright, I'm back with different blocks. I am thinking about blue for the berry bushes, because it has a blue tint to it, and when I think of berries, sometimes I think of blueberries. Even though the berries in this game are red, that's just the logic I'm going to go with, and I'm sticking to it. Then I was thinking this for a contrast between the fence and the berries that way, and then this could be the tree right here. And if I need a 4th block for any reason at all, I have cobblestone to start with. So this technically would be the berry bush. Then this would be the fence. Would that be enough space if I have a berry bush around a tree? I think I'm gonna use a cobblestone for like empty space, so I'm gonna go like this. We have empty space this far, or empty space this far. Because then I would go back and have the fence right here, or the fence right here. Alright, next up. So that one was on the 7th block. Here I was testing out what it would be like if I had it on the 8th block to have even more negative space between each tree. Alright, I'm gonna use my cheaty powers and just look at the top-down view of it. What if I had 6 trees in the middle? So then for the top row, if I stop right there, we would have 6. In the middle row, we have 6. On the bottom row, we have 5. And the sketch only had 4. So regardless, we're having an extra row, even if I do 5. I wonder what it would look like if we do on the 8th. That might be too far away. I think I kind of like the middle row best on the 7. But on the other hand, if we have more negative space, and I'm still only 2 blocks away. Yeah, that would be the problem though, because would I want it to be farther than the 2 blocks? Let's try this. That would be berry bush. This would be empty space. And then that would be path. This... empty space, and then path. We would have empty space, and then 3 paths. I kinda am leaning towards the middle path. Then technically, the empty space around the tree would look like this. And then this would be the path, like that. The only thing is, if I do this, then I want more room. I wouldn't want it to be this close to the tree. Alright, I think I'm gonna try and go on the 7th, reconfigure this, and be back. I think this is pretty good. I started gathering all the bushes that we might need, and it wasn't that much. There is a limit as to how many berry bushes, and they weren't the ones I was expecting. I grabbed all that I could, and then some. And then just decided I was going to harvest plain bushes with shears. I figured we could have decorative bushes, and just replace the decorative bushes with berry bushes as we go as I gain them. I gathered a variety of different bushes, thinking that we could have different aesthetics, and then I found these dark bushes that I thought would look great as a contrast between the apple trees. Then the next day I came back and started construction on the orchard itself, and let's get into this time lapse. I'm not gonna lie, I planned the orchard out while thinking about the first generation of apple trees and completely forgot that the update was going to change the way the apple trees work. So this is it for now, and I'll wait to see how the trees will grow. I'll come back with an update in the next episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!